Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another VGC 14 battle for you all. Now before I get started, I just wanted to talk a bit about the channel in the upcoming months. So obviously, recently I've just been posting VGC 2014 battles and, the analysis of the team I brought to Worlds, but the main reason why I haven't been doing as much analysis content is because Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is coming out soon, and with that means new VGC rules. So I'm kind of waiting out for that, and I'll be posting so much content once the new games come out and once the new VGC rules are announced. But if you guys have any suggestions for what you'd like to see, just general VGC help, definitely let me know. I don't really think I plan on doing individual analyses at this point, since there are very few tournaments actually left for this format, and it'll be very, basically, we'll be switching formats very quickly after October, excuse me. But yeah, if there's any kind of general content you'd like to see other than team building, which I've done a bunch of, let me know and I'll do my best to accommodate what you guys want. In addition, I'd still really like to post more frequently. I'm kind of super busy with senior year of high school right now, applying to colleges, getting good grades, standardized testing, etc. But at the same time, I still feel like I could put more time in this channel, and you guys definitely deserve the content. You guys have been super nice and good with the support, just being supportive fans, and I really can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And I'm not a fan of having a goal for likes, but it really is a good way for me to see how many of you are interested in my content at the moment. So I'll do my best to bring you content regardless, but if you guys hit 500 likes on a video, in a day, I promise a daily upload the following day. So let's do our best for that, and you keep up your part, I'll do mine. But regardless, I'd still like, content on this channel to be top quality and for there to be a lot of it, but we'll kind of see based off how real life plays out the next couple of months. Anyway, let's finally get into today's battle. The last battle I featured on this channel was against Scar, a top player from Japan who finished at top 4 at their nationals and then finished with the 2-4 record at Worlds this year. His team report was actually recently posted on Nugget Bridge, so I'll link that in the description below. I was able to play smartly after a poor turn 1 in the first game, taking advantage of the Choice Scarf Zapdos, which really crushed me in the first turn, and I got lots of valuable team info. Decided not to bring Salamence this time around. You see Kangaskhan, Hariyama, Rotom, Heat, Ferrothorn. He has Mawile, Gengar, Tyranitar, and Garchomp. So without further ado, let's get into this battle. Now, Scar's team, if you haven't read the team analysis yet, is pretty absurd. He's got, a super standard looking team. So you look at it and you're like, oh, these Pokemon are pretty easy to beat because I know what I can expect. The reality is every Pokemon has a trick up its sleeve. And I'm not going to spoil too much right now, but you'll see as the battle progresses. So I lead with Hariyama Kangaskhan against his Garchomp and Gengar. The first turn I was kind of thinking, okay, I can just fake out the Garchomp and double edge it, but at the same time I was anticipating a Protect from that Garchomp and maybe a Will-O-Wisp. So I said to myself, to maximize my, efforts, I can either just double edge and knock off the Garchomp and Gengar to ensure damage on anything. And even if he gets the Will-O-Wisp off onto Kangaskhan, I can still do around 50% with the double edge. So I guess worst case scenario here is him protecting Garchomp and Will-O-Wisping, but he doesn't do that. He protects the Gengar, so I actually get my full power double edge off against that Garchomp. And since he actually has Life Orb, I'm actually able to pick up the KO with double edge. Does just enough. Unfortunately, Kangaskhan's going to take a beating from the rough skin and, the recoil damage from double edge, but she is going to be able to hang on with just 17 HP. So, decent first turn for me there, though I did take a lot of damage on both Kangaskhan and Hariyama, and he's still got a full HP Mega in his back, which he reveals to be Mawile. So, I'm not feeling too great right now, but it's still good to have a 4-3 lead, especially because I know the two Pokemon I have in the back are really good for this matchup. I'm actually going to pull a double switch here because I know Kangaskhan can still be good for the remaining Pokemon he has, namely Tyranitar. So I want to switch that out for now because there's nothing it's going to do against a Mawile and a Gengar. So I bring in Ferrothorn and Rotom Heat, both which have pretty optimal matchups against both of my opponent's Pokemon, but counters the Mawile especially hard. He goes for the Iron Head, but fortunately I was predicting him to target the Hariyama slot, which is why I switched in Ferrothorn there specifically. Of course, my Ferrothorn did have Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet, so that Mawile takes quite an amount of damage just from attacking. And Gengar goes for the Trick Room, which was definitely a huge surprise there. Trick Room Gengar actually won Worlds and Seniors as well, so it's kind of cool to see it do well here as well. But yeah. This following turn, I'm predicting this Mawile to switch out, so I actually double target that Mawile slot with an Overheat and a Power Whip, basically ensuring I KO the Mawile or do a ton of damage to anything that comes in. So you see that Power Whip's going to do a heck ton to that Tyranitar, bringing it down to around 20%. I also get the Overheat off, so while that Gengar has Trick Room, it's actually not very slow, still faster than my Rotom Heat, and thus slower under Trick Room. So Overheat's obviously not going to KO Tyranitar, which is so slow already, and bulky, and of course, Sandstorms up as well, so boosting its special defense, but to predict that and get that much damage off against it is really good. This following turn I can actually just Gyro Ball the Tyranitar and pick up the knockout there, and I'm really happy about that. I was, anticipating maybe a switch there, but at this point, I was really fine. Ferrothorn being such a slow Pokemon as it is, really, takes pleasure in being on their Trick Room. And of course, my team was half Trick Room as well, so him setting up Trick Room actually kind of helped me. Of course, if I didn't nail the prediction there in the first turn, his Tyranitar might have been able to hang around the following turn and maybe even have get a Fire Blast off against the Ferrothorn, which is kind of what I was anticipating there. But because I was able to predict it, that really helped me out. I'm going to switch the Rotom Heat here into Kangaskhan, mainly because I know Rotom Heat can get the one-hit KO on Mawile late game. He actually goes for a Sucker Punch onto my Ferrothorn, probably fishing for a critical hit at this point, but he's not going to get that. He's going to take a ton of damage from the Rocky Helmet and the Iron Barbs. I get the Gyro Ball off, and it actually KOs the Gengar. So 4-1 at this point, and I've got a Rotom Heat in the back, which can safely Will-O-Wisp and obviously just overheat the Mawile. So at this point, obviously, I feel very good about my position. He's going to Protect here just to get the Sandstorm damage to KO the Kangaskhan. I go for the Sucker Punch there, mainly to avoid his Sucker Punch, actually. But Sandstorm's going to knock me out here, and at this point, I know it's still fine because I've got 3 Pokemon, and there's really not much he can do. Unless maybe he has... There's actually really nothing, especially because I can just bring in Hariyama, Fake Out, Leech Seed, Endgame, etc. He goes for the Protect here. When I do just go for the Fake Out, which you see there does minimal damage, but at this point it's just cleaning the game up. I actually go for the Gyro Ball just to get as much damage off as possible. Don't want to risk the Leech Seed miss. And I know at this point, 3-on-1, Mawile even with Sucker Punch, not going to be able to close the deal. So, end up taking a pretty convincing 3-0 win there against Scar. His Trick Room Gengar definitely caught me off guard, but I was able to bring my Ferrothorn in and take full advantage of that, and it really worked out in my favor. Tyranitar might have actually carried a Fire-type attack, didn't actually, get to find out, but I was lucky enough to nail that prediction in, and the switch in, and that really helped me basically seal up the battle, because it really just took out one of his main offensive threats under Trick Room. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that battle, and I'll see you next time. Peace.